What's going on? Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports, and we're going to be breaking down all 32 starting quarterbacks in 2021. So I'm going to look into that crystal ball. I'm going to try to figure out who's going to be starting for all these teams. It's not going to be easy whatsoever. Today's show is also presented by Pro Flowers. Go to chatsports.com/flowers where you can save 15% off and gifts. Valentine's Day, it's right around the corner. All right, let's go to the AFC East here. We're going to start it off. We're going to go division by division, starting with the AFC. Josh Allen, he's going to be a starting quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. No surprises there. But you know what? We're throwing a curveball right away here. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's going to be the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to let our hair down here, and I'm going to walk you through why I do each pick. The 49ers, I think that they could decide to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo. It's just he hasn't been able to stay healthy, and, well, it just wasn't a very good fit there, honestly, I think. The Patriots, they still need a quarterback of the future. No offense, Cam Newton. No offense, Jarrett Stidham. That ain't it. Belichick, he absolutely loved Garoppolo. Do y'all remember all the rumors going around that were like, hey, the Patriots could actually keep Jimmy G because Belichick wants him instead of Tom Brady? Well, here you go. Jimmy Garoppolo's contract very easily to move on from. The 49ers decide to cut him, and then Bill Belichick just comes walking in, takes his old quarterback back. So we got Josh Allen of the Bills. Jimmy Garoppolo headed back to the AFCs, back to the Patriots. The Dolphins, they're going to stick with Tua. Now, Tua's the player that they drafted number 5 overall. The other reason why I'm pretty confident in this one, they decided to hire 2 co-OCs. One of those was Godsey. Godsey was the tight ends coach last year, that worked very, very closely with Tua, so I think they end up sticking with him. Here's probably the biggest one on today's show. Deshaun Watson is going to be the next quarterback of the New York Jets here. You know why? They have the picks to be able to do it. What has Houston won? First-round picks. The Jets have 2 first-round picks, and they probably have the most realistic high-round pick, if you will, in the first round, because the Jags, they're not traded with Houston. They have the number 1 overall pick. So number 2, you package 34, maybe even throw in the second-round pick of 34 to then get Deshaun Watson to New York, and now New York finally has a face to that franchise. So imagine if all those quarterbacks end up going to those destinations. Who would be the best quarterback in the AFC East? If you think it's Josh Allen, I want you to type JA. If you think it's going to be Tua, type TT. Maybe it's Jimmy Garoppolo on the New England Patriots. That worked well before. Type JG. Or if you think it's going to be Deshaun Watson, give me a DW. AFC North time here. The Baltimore Ravens, they're going to stick with Lamar Jackson. No surprises there. There's been a lot of rumors around the Pittsburgh Steelers, potentially Big Ben retiring. I think he's going to end up coming back, though. Makes $41 million. I know Big Ben looked a little bit older at the end of the year, but I would come back for $41 million. The Browns, Baker Mayfield. He was a quarterback that I didn't really believe in, but got better and better as the year went on. The Browns ended up making the playoffs. They're going to keep old Baker. Let's go to the Cincinnati Bengals here. Joe Burrow. Sorry, this is kind of boring. All the quarterbacks stay the same, but you know what? That's going to be part of it here. So if all the quarterbacks stay the same, the AFC North, you could have made the argument, one of the best divisions in all of football last year. Who's going to end up winning it in 2021? If you think it's going to be Baltimore, type BAL. Maybe it's going to be the Cleveland Browns, type CLE. Could it be the Cincinnati Bengals, type CIN? Or if you're going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers, go down in the comments and type PIT. AFC South time. This is going to be a lot of different names and faces. The number 1 overall pick, it's Trevor Lawrence. No surprises there. Urban Meyer ends up getting his dude. The Texans, remember, they ended up trading Deshaun Watson to the Jets in this whole projection. So that means they have the number 2 overall pick. My top 5 quarterback prospects, Trevor Lawrence from Clemson, Zach Wilson from BYU. So they go number 1. They go number 2. Find out where Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Mac Jones are going to lie here on today's show. So with the Jags and Texans, you got 2 young rookies, and you don't have to deal with Deshaun Watson anymore. How about the Indianapolis Colts? Phillip Rivers, he decided to retire, and the one quarterback that's been linked to them, this is the trade that I want to see happen. Let's get Carson Wentz, who's been a crybaby the last, 3 months of the year, and let's get him out of Philly. Let's send him over to Indianapolis, that's where he had his most success underneath head coach Frank Reich back in 2017. Can Indianapolis figure out a way to get him back to the MVP? Potentially. They have a great offensive line. They're going to be a run-first football team. And if Carson doesn't have to worry about getting hit, you might actually see some good tools again. So Wentz, he ends up going to the Indianapolis Colts, which means the final team here in the AFC South is the Tennessee Titans, and they're going to be sticking with their guy Ryan Tannehill, as they absolutely should. The other reason why I really thought that this video would be fun, remember the report like a month ago where Schefter was like, we could see a lot of teams moving on from a lot of quarterbacks? Yes, you do. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's probably because you don't subscribe to the channel. We talked about this multiple times. We go live every Wednesday, every Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. We also drop new videos on the channel every single 3 hours. If you find yourself looking for the latest NFL news and rumors, hit the big red button underneath this video that says subscribe and turn on those notifications, because if some of these moves start happening, we're going to be going live. We're going to be doing some breaking news. You're not going to want to miss it. Well, let's go to the AFC West now. Producer Sam, big-time Bronco fan, you're keeping Drew Lock. Give him another year. See what he can do with a fully healthy offense, especially with this number one guy, Cortland Sutton. Breaking news. The Chiefs, they're going to keep Patrick Mahomes. Let's go to the Raiders here. A lot of news around Derek Carr potentially getting traded. I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to say that the Raiders decide to keep DC because he's got a favorable contract, going to make $22 million in 2021 for somebody that is a top 10 range type of quarterback. That's great value. I know there's a lot of trade interest around DC right now, but it's because of the contract. He's a good quarterback, but I don't really think that he does end up getting traded. But hey, let me know in the comments. So there was a report that came out on Tuesday that the Raiders were getting some calls around Derek Carr potentially moving on from him, and then if they move on from him, then they would look to potentially go out and get a guy like Deshaun Watson. Will Derek Carr be a Raider in 2021? Give me a Y for yes or type N for no. The Los Angeles Chargers, they're going to stick here with their rookie, Justin Herbert, who, I'll tell you what, you can make a legitimate argument if you redrafted 2020. You could put Herbert number one overall. He was that good this year, and a big-time reason why he won Offensive Rookie of the Year. If you want to be Rookie of the Year, maybe the MVP, shit, get your girl, get your wife something nice. Chatsports.com/flowers. 15% off all flowers and gifts. Valentine's Day. I know I don't have a watch, but it's coming up real quick. Don't be that guy. Don't be the loser that's like, oh man, I woke up on the 14th and I didn't get anything. I don't know who you're going to be waking up to on the 15th. Go to chatsports.com/flowers. That way you can get her some nice flowers. You can get yourself some candy. Maybe a bubble bath. Maybe that's a win-win for you and her. They got donuts on a stick. They have all sorts of amazing gifts that you need to go and get. You know what, though? Valentine's Day can also be for you, too. If you got a sweet tooth like me, send her the link. 50% off at chatsports.com/flowers. All right, let's get now in the NFC. We're going to start here in the NFC East. The Cowboys. I know there's been a lot of drama around Dak Prescott. If they don't bring him back, they're idiots. I don't care that he's coming off an ankle injury. They're idiots. Philadelphia, since Carson Wentz ended up going to the Indianapolis Colts, that means they're going to continue to roll it here with Jalen Hurts. Let's now go to the New York Giants. They're going to stick with Danny Dimes. I know I've seen some mock drafts that have had the Giants taking a quarterback. I would be absolutely shocked. They're going to stick with Daniel Jones. The Washington football team. Let's get a little bit wild here. I'm going to let my hair down. Can you tell? Cam Newton going to go to Washington. This is a football team that needs a quarterback, and if they can get a half-decent one, they're in the running for the NFC East. The other reason why I decided to go with Cam Newton for the Washington football team, the Ron Rivera connection. Is Cam ever going to be that MVP type of caliber quarterback that you saw in 2015? Probably not. But if Washington can win football games with a half-broken Alex Smith, with Tyler Heineke, exactly, I don't even know what his name is, then you can go out and find a quarterback like Cam, and if he can stay healthy and be halfway decent like he was the first half of the season, who knows? You might even be able to go out and win the division. So what do you think here? Will Cam Newton still be a starting quarterback in 2021? First half of the season, Cam, yes, absolutely. The back half of the season, Cam, absolutely not. But you have the name value there. Will somebody decide to roll the dice? And will somebody try to figure out, hey, can we get the most out of the former MVP? So type S for starter or go down in the comments and let me know. Type B for backup. NFC North time. Who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears? This was probably one of the most difficult ones to figure out because they're in an awkward position picking number 20. They're not really high enough to get one of these top quarterbacks, and they're not really in a very good position to go out and trade for a lot of people either. But one player that I've been very impressed with, not just this season, who has obviously risen his draft stock, having an incredible year, throwing for what? It was like 4,500 yards, winning the national championship, running the table. He also was great in the Senior Bowl, which is something that I definitely wanted to see from somebody like Mac Jones because, I'm sorry, I think a lot of people can look good throwing to all these talented receivers at Alabama. But how do you look throwing to other players from other teams going up against other great talent? Mac Jones played really well at the Senior Bowl. His stock's going to go up. The Bears could target him at 20. Heck, they could even trade up to go get a guy like Mac Jones. But if you don't like my prediction for Jones, it's all good. I get it. Who will be the Bears starting quarterback in 2021? Let me know in the comments section. And if you want to go check out our Bears channel, I encourage you to please do that. My man Harrison Graham, there's the link down there below, youtube.com/BearsNow, broke down the top 10 quarterbacks most likely to be the Bears QB in 2021. Go check out to see who's in his top 5. The Lions, Jared Goff, it still looks weird, but it's going to happen. After this trade went down over the weekend, I was very, very surprised, but I'll tell you what, if this trade doesn't tell you that anything can happen and that anything in this video is possible, I don't know what else I got to do. So the Rams, Matthew Stafford, spoiler alert, he's going to be the starter. And the Lions, Jared Goff. The Green Bay Packers, they traded up for Jordan Love last year. There's been some rumors around as Aaron Rodgers is going to stay in Green Bay. He's going to stay in Green Bay. I would be shocked if they decided to move on from the MVP. If they do, we're going to make a whole lot of videos around that. That's for sure. The Minnesota Vikings, they've decided to commit a lot of money to Kirk Cousins. He is an average quarterback. I personally wouldn't have offered him as much money as they did. 3 years, $63 million guaranteed. But they did. He's going to be their starting quarterback this upcoming season. The NFC South now, we're going to kick it off here with the Atlanta Falcons, another quarterback that's been linked to multiple teams and rumors, but most recently, there's been some sources that I personally trust that say they're going to hang on to Matt Ryan. I'm going to believe it, and they're not going to take a quarterback in the draft, number 4 overall. This is a team, though, that is going to take a quarterback in the first round. The Carolina Panthers, Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a fun prospect to me. I don't know if he lasts until pick 8. You could potentially see Carolina trade up for him, but one of the teams that was linked to Matthew Stafford was the Carolina Panthers. Apparently, according to a source or a report, they were willing to give up pick number 8 for Stafford. Obviously, the Lions said no. The Rams are going to give us a boatload more, so they decided not to. Teddy Bridgewater is a good quarterback, but he's also a quarterback that I would love to have a young guy like Justin Fields learn under. So you go up, you get Justin Fields. He's going to be the starting quarterback of the Carolina Panthers this upcoming season. The New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees is going to call it a career. It breaks my heart. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. They seem to be pretty confident in Taysom Hill. It also sounds like they're going to rotate a little in with Jameis Winston as well. But for starter's sake, I'm going to stick with Taysom Hill. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're going to continue to roll with Tom Brady. He signed a 2-year deal, took him to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady's going to be the starting quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's go to the last division here on today's episode. Cardinals, Kyler Murray. No surprise whatsoever. The Rams, Matt Stafford. Is he going to be enough to take them over the edge? It's pretty wild to me that the freaking Rams haven't had a first-round draft pick since 2017. Their last first-round draft pick, they just traded away. It was Jared Goff. The San Francisco 49ers. Okay, we're going to get a little bit different here. They're going to go with Trey Lance at pick number 12. So remember, I had Jimmy Garoppolo going to the New England Patriots. When I look at a lot of the quarterbacks that could potentially be open to them at 12, who is almost the exact opposite of Jimmy G? Trey Lance. A great athletic quarterback with great arm strength. If you want to go get the opposite of Jimmy G, who a lot of times people ripped on him for being too safe, maybe that's a player like Lance, where in 2019, he was absolutely incredible. 28 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I get it was at North Dakota State. And maybe Carson Wentz ruined a lot of people for wanting to go out and draft a quarterback from North Dakota State. But Trey Lance does have a lot of upside, and there's not many coaches, there's not many GMs that I think can get the most out of a player like Lance. I have a lot of confidence in Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch to get the most out of the young quarterback who only played 1 game in 2020. The final quarterback, Russell Wilson. He's sticking with the Seattle Seahawks. No surprises there. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed this video, and hopefully you continue to watch all of our awesome videos here at Chat Sports. If you haven't subscribed yet, go down, look underneath the video, click that big red button that says sub, and as always, if you disagree with anything I had to say, you can always yell at me in the comments or hit me up on IG. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365.